Hello and welcome to yet another completely unprofessional unboxing. Scott here, and today I think I'm doing something for the first time. I am opening something that does not belong to me. This is not something that I purchased, but this is something that was sent to me by a friend to, well, save on shipping costs. As we all know, shipping for anywhere is getting ridiculous and out of hand due to, well, we won't get into it here, but, for obvious reasons. So this particular package was sent to me within the United States, and I will be taking it with me up to KamCon for my friend James Drucker. I don't know. I never get it right. And these will be materials that I believe he's going to be using for a game he is running up there at KamCon, of which I'll be leaving here in a couple days. So I figured I'd see if I can squeeze in one more unboxing before I head up and take a look and see what he has inside. So without any further ado, let's take a look and see what it is he purchased and give it a quick first impression. All right. I have a new computer and setup, so I don't have anything set up with these. Where is my scene transition? There we go. Have a new lighting setup too. It's still a little dark, but I think that's just because my camera that focuses down on here is a little too close. So when something pulls into frame like this, it adjusts. I'll tweak it, but once we get the books on the table, it should autocorrect itself. So, trusty Coleman camping steak knife. I don't know how many years it's been. Still no accident, but the day may come where blood will spill. All right. Nice and easy. I believe this is from Noble Knight. So this should be an easy package to open and unwrap. And let's get a little slice there. All right. Okay, let's go ahead and open this up. And, yep, there we go. I believe there's a couple items in here. Yes. All right. Box. There we go. And get the bubble wrap off of here. Oh, God, there's a lot here. All right. So, and let's see here. So they are in wrap. So this will deal with, have a bit of reflection from the light, but the lights seem to be doing a good job. They're not reflecting as much as they used to. Maybe I'll take a picture of the new setup. I've got a new computer dedicated just for recording on this channel and its own personal corner. So, like I said, still tweaking things, but we'll see what how it goes in the future. All right. D20. D20 passed. Overlight. Ooh. The original X-Crawl, I believe, or very close to it. And some more Overlight stuff. So, all right. So these are supplements. We'll probably just do a page through of these because I'm not going to do any deep dives into these. But I think the one that I'm least familiar with is Overlight. I thought Overlight was a game that's kind of one of the new trend where it's kind of like a video game emulation, but I could be wrong. So let's set these aside so the light doesn't autocorrect itself. Take these out. It still darkens for some reason. Move it away. Put it back in. Move it away. Huh. All right. Well, I'll figure that out. I am not a lighting technician, but we shall see. All right. There we go. Okay. Children of Zenith for Overlight by Paul Alexander Butler and George Holland. Illustrations by Joanna Barnum and Kwanchai Moria. Oh boy, I couldn't butcher that even more, so apologies. So the role-playing game of kaleidoscopic journeys. This is an introductory adventure designed for 3 to 4 starting characters. We have made notations at various points on the way to increase the difficulty if you desire. Very nice of you. Much appreciated. So, the following adventure can be played as a beginning adventure for new players. Yeah, you said that. But can dovetail into the Sage of Hanging Prison adventure in the Overlight rulebook. So I wish I knew more about what Overlight is. But, if you're curious about it, go ahead and look it up. So, yeah, I mean, Nice big fonts, easy to read, very nice format, very colorful illustrations, and well done. I would hope so for something that says it's a kaleidoscopic journey. And this is a relatively short adventure. Part 1 in 2 parts. Looks like it takes places in different areas or zones, whatever they're called, in Overlight onto the Shining Grotto. We've got tips for the GM in here, details on somebody named Chief Rava, negotiating with him, rescuing Norba, and I like the illustrations. These watercolors are wonderful. At least, real watercolors or digital watercolors, and you can't really see that in the reflection. There it is. All right, so okay. All right, here we go. The young girl must leave the only home she has ever known to find her true path on a distant shard. The Skyborn must answer a father's plea and escort the child on what will be the adventure of her lifetime. At their far-off destination lies a complicated political situation, layered with the colors of revenge, tradition, and grief. Enjoy the special Overlight adventure, Child of Zenith, exclusively for Kickstarter backers. Okay, so this is probably why he picked it up. He likes the game, and either didn't get the full Kickstarter that may have had this included, or was not part of the Kickstarter, but went ahead and picked this up at Noble Knight. All right, so we will put that back in there later. Let's go ahead and just take a quick look at the other one. All right, so, whoop. And I got to figure that out. Why it keeps getting darker whenever I put something reflective there. If anyone knows lighting well within OBS, feel free to drop me a message or a suggestion on how to handle that. Otherwise, I'm sure I can look it up online. So, all right. What else do we have here? We got the Lost Spire of Titsua Quaddle. Close enough. The role-playing, okay, 4 Overlight role-playing at class opportunity. Kal-El cover illustration by Joanna Barnum. So I guess Joanna is the one who does these wonderful illustrations. And this was looks like a free RPG day adventure. Yeah, it's pretty big. It's like almost 60 pages. Wow. All right, let's look at the description on the back. You have in your hands an exclusive adventure for the Overlight role-playing game system from Renegade Game Studios, featuring a unique adventure especially for Free RPG Day 2020. All right, that tells me a lot. All right, let's just take a look at it. What is it? The Lost Spire of Zoquaddle is an adventure for the Overlight role-playing game. Yes, we know that. If you already own the Overlight core rulebook, you can dive right into the new adventure designed for 4 to 6 players. If you're entirely new to Overlight, you can skip ahead to the Overlight Quick Start. Rules at the back of this book, and which will provide you with everything you need to get started in this exciting adventure. All right, so what is it? Let's see. It outlines an adventure for your player characters, PCs, that is meant to challenge the players not only with the mystery, but also the sense of someone important to their character may be in great danger. For the most part, the text presented here is meant for the GM, yada, 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 yada. All right, a special note is that in some places, the scenario is heavily derived from works of horror and meant to present a gruesome scenario for players to place and overcome. If the box text describes a scenario that is not right for your group, then it is in your power to remove the offending details such as blood, corpses, and unsettling decor. Excellent. All right, so let's just do a little page through. And these aren't as glossy. These here. I think I need to move my camera up to kind of deal with this lighting situation. But anyways, that's for another video when I return from KamCon. All right, so... Ooh. I see what you mean. Death Deer. I don't know what that's called, but that's what I'm calling it. Continue on. Third act. We've got flying bird dinosaur beasties with spears, so those look nasty. Terexian Outlander, probably. And we've got an illustration coinciding with the bent stairs. Okay, so that is a landscape. Looks like a stone outcropping, pathway leading up to it. And we've got I guess this is another Terexian. Looks like some sort of sage or something, looking longingly into the night sky. Ooh, cool. Floating islands, huh? I wonder if that's part of Overlight or just this adventure. And I mean, the reason why I say it's just kind of like a video game emulation thing. The colors and the font make it look like some of the others that are kind of going for that JRPG feel, as there seems to be a few of those coming out recently. All right, so 42 pages, skill descriptions, pre-gen character sheets, and I guess these are... okay, so it's got background information, details on the sheets, and looks like special abilities of some sort. So, all right, well, that looks pretty cool. So those are 2 adventures for Overlight. And what do we have here? We've got D20 Pass. Now, this one doesn't seem to darken it, probably because of the darker background here. So, again, I'll have to figure that out. Dun, dun, dun. Open. There we go. All right. A Blast from the Past we have here. D20 Pass by James Wyatt and Gwendolyn F.M. Kestrel. Wizards of the Coast. And what else do we have here? See if there's any other names. James Wyatt, Gwendolyn F.M. Kestrel. Additional design by David Noonan. Editors, Tammy Webb Ryan and Chris Thomason. Design manager, Chris Perkins. Ding, 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 ding. There's a recognizable name, and so on and so forth. Let's see, when did this come out? This was 2005. Okay. All right, so what is D20 Pass? Can you tell me in a summary in the back? Rally heroes and rewrite history. Rewrite history. Dash down the gaslit streets of Victorian horror or ride the dusty trails of the Wild West. Board tall ships of the Spanish Main or raid the trenches of the Great War. In D20 Pass, heroes can find excitement in any historical era, from the Renaissance to World War II. Whether period-specific or pulp flavor, the possibilities of adventure in the world of yesteryear are endless. To use this product, you also need the D20 Modern Role-Playing Game Core Rulebook for players and game masters, which, I kind of gathered it's a little light in the pants here for all what it's proposing to do. The product is compatible with other D20 system role-play games, as everything with this label did. The D20 Glut. All right, let's just take a quick look at it. All right, what we got here? It's about 91 pages long with an index in the back. We have, let's see here, 5 chapters. 1 dealing how real is your past. 2 rules components. Obviously dealing with different aspects here. Skills and feats. Remember those? Equipment, vehicle movement, and combat. Chapter 3, Age of Adventure. Campaign in brief. And moving on through all of that. Then we've got 4 Shadow Stalkers. And then 5 Pulp Heroes. All right, so let's take a quick gander here. All right. No reflection there? Okay, yeah, maybe. All right, that's all right. Yeah. Okay, how real is your past? So we've got progressing and declining through it, predestined, manipulated, and random. Dealing with approaching your campaigns historical and semi-historical. Gaming in the past, dealing with global issues. We got information on communication, gender roles, life expectancy, literacy, national group identity, and so on. All right. And then we've got various degrees of overland movement. So this is essentially going to play out of a general, supplemental information along with occupations or classes to work with here with your modern D20 core rulebook. And I don't see anything, anything that stands out. It's nothing that you wouldn't find in any other sort of D20 rulebook. Although I do see something that might play out, may not play out these days. Occupation as a slave. That's obviously a different time period where you would see that in there. But of course, it's part of the historical past. Not sure if anyone who would want to play one or not, but that's entirely up to them and their table. All right. Different types of things here. We've got rules components. So special add-on rules depending on what period of time you're playing in the past. And carrying on, various weapons, armor, vehicles, and so on. Then we've got the various class descriptions. We've got explorers. And then we go on to Chapter 3, Age of Adventure. So this looks like a short campaign for you to run. A fantastic interpretation of the swashbuckling era. Okay, that's interesting. That's one of my if I was going to play a semi-historical game, the Age of Sail swashbuckling era, of course, is one that is romanticized to the nth degree, but very fun to play in. Easy to take up the role of a hero. Carrying on. Yeah, so we've got different components to this particular campaign with a couple of specialized monsters and so on. And then we've got some class features featuring a musketeer as a prestige class. Then we've got a shaman and so on. So Age of Adventure continues on through the initial campaign, and yada, yada, yada. You finish it, and you can carry on if you want. All right. Shadow Stalkers. I can kind of guess what this is. Yes, Victorian London, or gunslingers in the Wild West. So, yeah. So, Deadlands, monster hunters, Victorian era, and whatnot. Call of Cthulhu, so to speak, depending on how you play it. Same thing. We've got the Baskerville Hound here. You've got a template for Hyde. As a big bad guy, the Order of the Crimson Dawn. Okay. And then we got some prestige classes, Frontier Marshal. So these could be, this is well before Penny Dreadful came out, I think. It should have been. But of course, this would be something that you could use if D20 is your jam to kind of, bring that style of game together, which would be great. And then we've got pulp heroes. So yes, 1920s and 30s. So yeah, we've got your kind of Indiana Jones, kind of archetypical pulpy. Looks like throw in some, some visitors from Mars. Some Nazis to beat the crap out of. Some mad scientist tech and so on. So we got all your standard tropes here. Yep, we've got Nazis. To beat the crap out of and take down. We've got your Flying Ace as a prestige class. We have your Gangster as an advanced class, which is excellent. We got Scientist as an advanced class. Yep, so there's the weird science tech and whatnot that would usually be associated with pulp adventures of that time. Then on with the adventure itself. And carrying through, along with some additional either updated or modified spells for the time, it looks like, because these look like regular, or some of them do look like regular spells, maybe just flavored for the time period or whatnot, and not quite as fantastical. And there you have it. D20 Past. So I think this is the one that James primarily needed. I think was planning on running either something at KamCon or for some friends up there. And this is the one that he found at Noble Knight and had it shipped to me so I can bring it with me on my flight up there. And the others were just kind of an add-on. So real quick, before we wrap this up, because I didn't want this to go too long, we will take a quick look at Xcrawl. Now, Brendan LaSalle will be up at KamCon, and he is going to be running Xcrawl games while he's there, but also he is going to be running a session of Xcrawl Live, where, in kind of like standard, live AP style, there'll be a group of people, playing in front of an audience. Brendan will be running it. I'm sure it will be an absolute blast and a hoot, and I will be participating in it also. So I've never done anything like that before. We'll see how it goes, but should be a lot of fun. But we'll see how it ends up. Hopefully it's not me sweating under bright lights in a giant pool, because I don't do well with heat. And it's hot up in Canada now, so at least in that area. I was hoping to go up and have a nice cold temps to hang out in, but that doesn't seem to be the case. So this is, this is Xcrawl, and I don't recall from my interview with Brendan this is not the original. I don't know. It's obviously before DCC, because this was published by who was it published by? Who do we have here? It's a D20 System. So yeah, if this is not the original printing, it is another printing shortly after that, before Brendan moved on and started doing things with Goodman Games. So, written by Brendan LaSalle, additional material by James A. Moore and Brett Brooks, edited by Brett Brooks, book design Allison Brooks, cover art Chris Appel, character design Tom Foster, and a variety of people doing the interior art. We have a dedication here. This came out in 2002 from Brendan J. LaSalle himself. Dedication, love to mother and father for their unflinching support of my writing hobby's general strangeness. Every world's greatest mom and dad belongs to y'all. Take them freely. Love to my sister and David, my accomplices in language. Love for the home team, Don and Nino and Nick. Love to Team Panda Head. Love to my heroes, Monty Cook, Jonathan Tweet, and Skip Williams. Love to all my teachers, especially Dr. Julian Wasserman and Greg Johnson. Love to Micah. You had nothing but support for me, and I thank you from the bottom. From the bottom. Love for all the playtesters and watch your behinds. We're just getting started. Yeah, that's very true. If 2002 Brendan can see him now. Where was I? And to role-playing game haters everywhere, whatever. What we do is the most honest and underappreciated art form there is. Ain't that the truth? Some of the world's greatest stories have been told exactly one time by folks with dice in their hands. Peddle your negativity elsewhere. We aren't in the market. This book is for Jason Jenkins and Peter Morrison. Excellent words by Brendan LaSalle. So I'm going to maybe just take a quick flip through this, because obviously, the current version of Xcrawl is Xcrawl Classics, and not saying that this is, obsolete. Probably one of the biggest changes, of course, it's using Dungeon Crawl Classics rules. That doesn't mean that you can't pull this information from here and use it in Xcrawl, but I would imagine some of it is probably quite the same between this book and another. And this one starts in traditional form with essentially the lore in the front, whereas if I remember correctly, majority of the world lore is in the back of Xcrawl. But this would be a good way to fill in maybe some of the gaps, because yes, while there's quite a bit of lore within Xcrawl, a majority of it is designed for the GM and the players to fill out themselves or for upcoming supplements. But nothing says that you can't go back to the old school books and fill in the information. Take information as you need and put it in your current game. So. Ugh. A lot of lore, Brendan. A lot of lore. Oh, excellent. Okay, the breakdown. Now look at these. Now look at these old illustrations. Okay. All right. So yeah, so it looks like it uses similar rules here. We've got, Mojo, which is used in the current version. Okay, rules changes. Yes, Xcrawl can be run using the existing D20 system. However, they are included here for your consideration. Okay, so these are additional rules. So new rules. Yeah, so Mojo is new rules. Okay, so yes, I believe there was another version here. All right. And we're going through character creation and dealing with the different character classes as they are associated with Xcrawl. And the Master Celebrity, Prestige. Oh, yeah, Prestige classes. Yeah, we've got to get those Prestige classes in there. Onward and onward, new spells, sample weapons. So this would be an interesting read. This would be a fun one just to kind of see, as I'm not familiar with the older game itself, but just read it for fun and have some comparison. See what has changed between this game and 23 years in the future with when Xcrawl came out. So here we go, and then we got the appendix in the end with additional information. Probably an opening adventure and whatnot. And there we go. All right. Along with some character sheets or pre-gens. Yeah. Yep. And we got the index in the back. All black and white, which also is the current Xcrawl book. Now, I will say, this was well over 20 years ago. But, and the artists in here, very talented, far talented than myself. But the artwork in Xcrawl Classics is, to be expected from a Goodman Games and really embodies a world more so than the illustrations in here. But of course, this is 20 years ago. I don't know what Brendan paid or, had to put out to get this published and write it. And, sometimes art, especially in larger books, this is almost over 200 pages. Your art budget is the first to be cut in order to get the book out. So there you have it. Xcrawl D20 2002 with a very fantastic cover, very indicative of the year it came out. So there we go. So that's the unboxing of James Stroker's Noble Knight Order. And we will put these all back into their proper protection and get them ready to ship out to KamCon, of which I'm going to be out this weekend. So, obviously, if you're watching this and you live up in the Canada area near Kamloops, head on over to KamCon. You will see me there. I will be participating in the Taskmaster game show. I will be participating in the Xcrawl Classics live show. I'll be hosting a panel on horror and RPGs with a couple people of note: Dennis Stetweiler, Shane Ivey, James Stroker, and Ludovic Chabant. We'll be talking about designing Dread, essentially writing, and certain aspects within creating horror in RPGs. And I will be also running a game of Weird Heroes of Public Access, and I'm looking forward to that. And finally, if I'm not completely burnt out and have any energy left, I will be doing the Black Company playtest, which this will be the first time that the playtests will be provided in public. Shane Ivey is running the game all there, and I'm looking forward to checking out and seeing Art Cream's take on the well-loved fantasy series. So, and there you have it. Shit, where's my button? There we go. That has been yet another completely unprofessional unboxing. Thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate everyone who follows this channel. I do this, just for fun and good times, but, as the subscriptions do grow and grow, it's nice to see. So I look forward to other things coming up. I will probably be dropping various videos and pictures and highlights while I'm at KamCon. Looking to do some interviews, hopefully, if there's time, and any other shenanigans that may come up. Very similar to how things, went when I was at Gen Con. Unfortunately, Keith will not be there, so this is going to be a solo operation for myself, but there'll be plenty of people there that I know to keep me company, and we'll be representing both my channel and Titterpigs while I'm there, so there may be some shared bits of media and whatnot between both myself and the Titterpigs podcast. So, everyone, thank you for watching. Have a wonderful day, and if you're going to KamCon, hope to see you there. Goodbye. Damn it, where is it? Okay. I'll learn this for next time and fix these lights. Take care.